Oh, no chocolates today, Mr. Woods?
No, Ruby. This is all I need. Papa always told me, life is like a box of lollipops. All the flavor and fiber you'll ever need to get far in life. And boy, was he right. I never really had an end goal. Never had a reason to stop either. All I knew was I could run forever with one. Until I ran out.
And then what?
I went home.
Oh.
Konbanwa, and welcome to day 5 of the World Athletics Championships here in Tokyo. Chris Chavez, joined by Mitch Dyer. Eric Jenkins will be joining shortly.
Beautiful.
Mac Fleet in the house, and we are ready to unpack everything that just took place. We rushed back immediately.
You guys beat me here. I thought I was pretty quick.
As soon as the meet ended, because we knew we had to talk about all things. I don't know who's out there right now, but they're knocking on our door. All things that just took place at the track. First off, shout out to our presenting sponsor, ASICS, who has been supporting all of our coverage wall to wall all throughout the World Championships. I believe we'll be sitting down with the 1500 meter world champion Isaac Nader tomorrow, so stay tuned for an interview from him. We've got a group run tomorrow where we're all going to be rocking the ASICS Mega Blast. Getting, I think for many of us, our first impression of the shoe. We've been rocking the Super Blast. That's been our favorite so far. But no, many thanks to ASICS for all of their support throughout these World Championships to bring you the best and most comprehensive coverage out there. I mean, we see it very clearly. It's just like we're setting the standard, and then other people can just, kind of copy our graphics, but it's all right. All right.
Bang!
Let's
out of the gates.
Get into it.
Don't mess around, Chris.
Sydney Mclaughlin-Levrone, the GOAT, makes this.
Wow, the GOAT. Eric might have an opinion on that.
No, absolutely. I mean, unforgettable night.
Yeah. We
were going nuts in the stands, and it's part of the reason why we rushed back to get to the mics as quick as possible. 47:78. Sounds like a made-up time, like a fantasy video game-esque time, but it's the real deal. Sydney dropped this in the final, saved the best for the biggest moment of the championships. What it was a championship record, broke the championship record that had stood for 42 years. That's the fastest time in the women's 400 in 40 years.
Yeah, since the world record.
First ever human being in the world to win a gold medal in the 400 or 400 hurdles. All right, take a seat right here. We've got Eric Jenkins joining me right now on this show.
Hey, what a night. What a day at the track. I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's good.
Anyway, what a 400 meters that was. I mean, it was it delivered on a lot of fronts too, because it's not like Sydney was just a runaway winner. She dragged through this field for some some historic times. It was
So hot in this thing.
it was incredible.
Third ever woman to break 48.
You might have to chime in here.
I'm like, Chris, you never seen a great white shark before? Lock in.
Help me out here. All right.
Yeah, became the first athlete ever, man or woman, to win titles in both the 400 and 400 meters. Joined the exclusive club of women under 48 seconds. Just 3 of them. Set the American record, yes, climbed to number 2 on the all-time list, and achieved all of this in her first complete season of the 400 meters.
Yeah. Insane race tonight. I was saying to someone just moments ago, just like we were losing it like in the stands because to your point, like this is something I learned watching the race with you guys in the stands just yesterday, that like they're holding people for a long time. And watching Sydney, just like before she even gets into the blocks, like she does like just the side tap and just like standing there, just tapping her toes. And like, I'd love to go back and watch footage of her racing at New Balance Nationals, at Kentucky, or wherever it is, just like to see if like that's always been a thing of her just getting the nervous energy out. But I was getting so nervous watching her before she even got into the blocks, because they were being held for so long. The whole entire time I'm thinking, well, first off, like it's raining at that point, or was raining before the race. And I thought, okay, like the conditions are great. Like I think that they can run really fast. Is it a sub 48 day? I don't know. But as soon as the race went off, like everyone was getting after it. For Sydney, like she had the advantage of being able to watch Paulino, decided to match her every move, hits the 200. I have to pull up the splits in a little bit, but catches up, matches her, and then after 200 meters was right up in it in terms of just like getting to Paulino. No, not even Paulino. Nasser's who I'm thinking was the goal, and then from there, closing it out. Sydney just got it done, and the whole entire time, 47.78. But not, in addition to that, like Paulino ran 47.98, Nasser 48.19, Natalia Bukowishka ran 49.27 and didn't even medal whatsoever. This was an all-time race, and the cool part was that like watching it afterwards, it's like Sydney clearly knew that she like reached not I wouldn't even say reach her potential, but like finally got the performance that she'd been after this whole entire season. And then from there, Paulino all smiles. Why? Because like this is
That's the third fastest time ever.
It's a personal best in like under 48
the third
seconds.
fastest
Like,
time
you
in
don't
history.
get that. So
Is it second and third fastest?
Second and third fastest times in history.
yeah.
Yeah. She eclipsed it by 0.01.
So Paulino has nothing to be upset about here. Now, all of them, I think everyone in this field was just like, you know what? Like, that it will at least the top 3. That was an all-time race.
I think what was wild about that was I know you're saying Nasser, and I agree with you. And what we all thought was going to happen was Nasser just getting out like a bat out of hell.
She finished in third in 48.1, and it felt distant.
But was even crazier was like what I've talked for the last 6-8 weeks about how Paulino kind of like, she doesn't dog the first 200, but she kind of like really runs hard the last 100 versus Nasser's like he goes out hard, kind of slows down. Paulino was out as well over the first 200. All 3 women And I think what at least I was expecting was we would see Nasser kind of like gain the stagger a bit up on Paulinho like we've seen before. And then we just weren't necessarily sure what Sydney was going to do in compared to the other two women there. But like we get to 200 meters there and they run like what 22.7,
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow.
But at that mark, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, all three women, Paulinho, Nasser, and Sydney, all had a relatively even stagger on each other. And it was like, oh, all three of them are absolutely sending it. You think like right off the bat, like, oh, Sydney's kind of got the edge on them. But no, when they came out of the break, like Paulinho was right there.
Yeah.
Was like just behind Sydney, and Nasser was just behind Paulinho. So like that race absolutely delivered. This is something we've been talking about. We thought we were going to get it in LA at Grand Slam track, but like what a treat to get this in the biggest race of the year when it actually mattered. Sorry for
You're gonna get flagged. Yeah, you're gonna get flagged. Yeah.
friggin'. This was so good, and it's so rare that we get someone like Sydney who runs another event to choose to run something else against women that are the best ever to do it.
We keep coming back to that. I think like the whole entire time where it's
Fair
like
point.
So many people last year, I guess, like in particular in the last couple of years, have been like, oh, like Sydney doesn't race enough and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, shut up. Like
I mean,
my
this
take is shut up. Like,
I think you can swear
like,
that.
it doesn't matter how many races she's run over the last 8 years. Shut up. She chose to do this and race Paulinho and Nasser.
No, going into
Yeah,
this
it's
year
just-
for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like even previous.
Oh, in
like,
general,
you have nothing to stand on because she just chose to race two of the best women ever at an off event.
Stepped up
and delivered. Shut up. Like you got.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think like she can do whatever she wants. I think like in this sport going forward, because it's like that was the big thing. It's like, how is she going to do against like these two all-time greats? And today dominated them. Yeah, like Nasser, it was former world champion and like one of the fastest women of all time, was so far back.
It was you say dominated and like people are gonna be like,
That's what's crazy is that she ran this fast and wasn't a clear. I mean, obviously a clear victory, but to have, I'm like, at first I am having a tough time breathing in this thing. It's all coming right back in my face, and it's nothing's escaping in this the shark head, and I'm trying. I have things to say. It is crazy how fast she ran, and it was still as close as it was. Such a good. I'm like, you guys laugh. I'm like, yeah, no, it was a great race. Take it from me, a great white shark who understands what it's like to be trying your hardest and you are putting down historical times and you still got people on your ass. It was such a good race. We did know that it was going to be fast, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been saying that Sydney is so calculated and smart going through the heats. And that if she's running 48.3 in the semis, that maybe it's not going to be as fast as it was today, but it's going to be faster than the semis. So we'd been saying that it's going to be around like the 48 marker would have been right around that, and that would have been a good over under. But coming out to run this fast, and I'm sure like what I was just saying, these other athletes thought the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you see that if you're Nasser, if you're Paulinho, you're thinking the exact same thing. Like, oh, okay, wow, here like Sydney runs like 48.3, shutting it down the last 30 meters. This race is going to be an incredible final.
Yeah. Mitch, you get
I've recovered.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just every time Eric comes on the screen, I just lose it. Yeah, I think what makes it really cool is we're so often, I think now seeing Sydney win quite comfortably, obviously over the hurdles and all that sort of stuff. But to see her to your point, take it to the best and then get like the really cool part was in the last 50, I wouldn't have said that the guarantee would have been that she was winning because Paulinho was coming pretty hard on
Oh,
that
yeah.
outside shoulder. And then I think to saddle up again and find another gear or just have that sustainable strength at the end to hold it off is ultra impressive. And yeah, shout out to Paulinho because it might get a little lost in the hype of what Sydney's done. But yeah, third fastest time of all time in a decorated career. And I'm sure she's really grateful for Sydney to be able to push to get under 48 because what had it been? Like 1985 and 83 were the last two times we saw women run under 48 seconds. And that was in a pretty scandalous era. So this is an almighty performance from all three of them, but for gold and silver, hats off to your point. She can call whatever shot she wants. She's double gold now in two different events.
Sydney and Paulino, the first two women to run under 48 seconds for 400 meters in 40 years. In addition to that, like
40 years.
40 years. You know, that world record set in Canberra in Australia.
Really?
Is incredibly
in
random.
October too, right?
German, 1985.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, I mean, like it is like that's
And 1983 was the other one. Also,
well, that's the other thing too. It's like
Soviet Union sort of operation. So.
yeah, I guess like you're gonna see a little bit of that on social media, on Twitter. People will be calling this like the clean world record, because that world record has stood for a while. But like, I think one thing we learned from tonight is that if Sydney commits herself to this event fully over the next year and a half, like she could 100% take this down. I guess like I don't quite remember just like how far in advance the IOC sets the timetable for the Olympics, but if you're someone prepping the schedule for LA, like you obviously, I think at this point will want to be able to consider it's like, well, this is a generational talent. Like, can we find a way to do the 400 hurdles?
It's the California girl
do you
too, right?
think Sydney should stick?
Training wise.
I mean, it's amazing to watch Sydney just kind of go from event to event.
Yeah.
And we know that she is also talented in the shorter events. I'm just thinking, do you want her to stick at the 400? Would you? I'm like, in my opinion, I'm just here. I'm like, she's run this fast, and yes, maybe you would want to stick around and try and get another world record.
Yeah.
But how fun would it be to not spend years on this event like you have the 400 hurdles, but drop down and do the 200 and do these other events?
Well,
to just prove how
last
talented
year
you truly are.
at the LA Grand Prix, that's the race where she beat Gabby, she beat Janet Prandini, she beat Abby Steiner. Like that was a loaded race, and she was the one who came out on top with a PB, and it was
a world
super
lead,
impressive.
pretty sure at the time.
Wow.
It was a world lead and all this stuff where it's like, okay, like she's got the greatest versatility of any athlete in this sport. Kudos to her for even like choosing to drop down in Philly, and do the 100 hurdles. Like that was like, all right, like she's not afraid to step out of her comfort zone, and I think like she should be applauded for that. Like all throughout this season, where it's like at the
Yes,
very
but
beginning, yeah.
When you're as amazing, it's easier to step out of your comfort zone when you're as unbelievably gifted. It's like, yeah. I'll step out and do the 100 hurdles because am a threat to the world record anytime I touch the track around the distance that I'm good at. So it's just like, it's a bit easier to do that.
Yeah.
But I really do think she should spend more time doing these events like the 200.
I mean, yeah.
Like drop down.
The iconic 200, 400 double, right?
And we talk about this. I'm trying not to get too far away from like what she just
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
And now we're already like, all right, we're on to.
You're right.
No, that's
You're right. You're right.
Part of that is kind of annoying because like in the sense I just watched the 2.5 minutes that she did through the mix zone this evening, and at the very end someone chimed in and said, well, Seb Coe thinks you should run the 800, and then that's the final point that was made, and it's like I roll my eyes at that because it's like
That makes me sick to
It's
my
like
stomach.
she just accomplished.
He should definitely fucking run the 800.
Sure, but that's not
And you're
like
like,
the
I didn't know
point
they got
of
my
me.
Yeah,
question
no,
in
that
there.
sucks. That's so rude for him to say that. I'm like, she's got to run the.
No,
Maybe run the 1500.
no, sure, but like
Do the 10K.
it's just like tonight's not the night to bring that up.
Totally.
Like we all can like hypothesize of like what we think Sydney can run for the 800, and like it's not the first time that she's hearing she'd be a great 800-meter runner, but it's like
exactly. That's
all
what
right.
I was saying.
But no, it doesn't mean she'd be a great 800 meter. Nothing is more of a Neanderthal knuckle dragging take than like a distance runner or distance running fan that's like, oh, you should move up and run
Yeah.
another. You should just run, just go move up.
I'm like, well, wait a
Oh,
second.
you're good at running the 100. Maybe you'd be good at running the marathon.
Yeah.
You better check your knuckles there.
It's like,
Yeah, my knuckles are just, the skin is completely scraped off of these fuckers.
I get what you say. I do get that point. It's like you got to have a period where you just celebrate what's just happened in front of you,
Yeah.
and then the conversation. And I guess it's a fun thing, like to be like, what could she do next? But
it is fun.
It is. It's like I'm having a great time over here.
I'm
Actually,
like,
hypothesizing
I'm
what
not
she can do
joking. I
next.
cannot breathe in this thing. It's not like there's a thin fish. There's a little net in the eyes, but the oxygen's not getting out. It's like getting so hot in here, and I'm not getting any oxygen. But this, it's such a fun
Okay.
conversation to have
Yeah.
with Sydney because, and yes, it's fun to talk about the future because of how unbelievably talented she is. And she's had 1 year of doing not even. I'm like, Mitch, cut out the laughing. I'm trying to be serious here. She's had 1 full year of like doing the 400, and she's as successful as she is. And that's why it's kind of fun to talk about the future because this sport is like the career timeline of this sport is so short. She doesn't have so many years left to be like, oh yeah, I'll do the 400 for, a bunch of years. And then it's just one of these things that this is somebody who is going to go down as arguably one of the best at like track athletes of all time. And it would be truly fun to see what her true range could be on the world level of all these sprint events.
Where I completely agree with you is like, all right, for her, how do I maximize LA in terms of setting myself up
100%.
for the rest of my life?
That's that.
And that is the 2-4 double.
Yeah.
That's like
Honestly,
I like
it's
that.
like how do I become like it? How do I transcend the track and field
It's
and
not
the
hard to
social media
like.
stuff for
I
the
don't.
rest of my life.
We don't need to skirt around the name. It's like the Michael Johnson double, right? Like
I was skirting.
that's the double you want to go for, like in LA. And I think like tonight is the first step of setting yourself up for that success. It's like, oh, great. Like, yeah, she could go back to the 400 hurdles and at some point scare 50 seconds. That'll be nice. She would dominate, Femke Bowl at any point, anytime over the next 5 years if she chose to go back to the event. But it's like, I'm 100% with you, Mac, in the sense of like, hey, let's just buckle down on getting quicker in the flat events and go 400, 200 in LA.
But and this is just like
But this is just like we're
pure
hypothesizing.
speculation.
Yeah.
Right. It's like she doesn't have 2 more. I don't know. She could have
2 more Olympic
Yeah,
cycles.
she
You
could
think
have
like
2
the
more cycles,
Brisbane?
but it's just if
Yeah.
you're just looking at trying to maximize the next 3 years, like that's how you do it. But like. Who knows? Like
Sydney-
first off, you got to stay healthy. She has to you got to stay on the grind. She has to stay hungry for wanting to be as good as she is, which is hard to do. And like, there's just a lot of things have to go right in order for us to be like, oh yeah, you should do the 2.
It really isn't fair for us to immediately talk about. Yes.
47, 78,
second fastest
the
time in
second fastest
history.
time all time. Just took down the 3rd fastest woman of all time.
Yeah,
and,
and I'm like,
I think
dude,
the
200.
3rd or 4th fastest woman of all time in the same race.
It's not
Yeah.
fair.
It was an unbelievable race in a race that isn't her primary event.
Yeah.
And like for celebrating for what that is today, that was like one of the best head to head. If we're like talking about like UFC or boxing matches, like that was a heavyweight title that we just got today, and it absolutely delivered.
Totally.
It's quite possibly like the greatest 400-meter race I think I've seen in our lifetime easily. That head-to-head duel that just happened there. Well, I'm trying to see the time for third. What was it? 48.19. That's crazy. That is an absolutely crazy trio. I suppose like the thing for Sydney is like she would have made so much money, obviously, in what she's been doing, and set herself up and have a home games and everything like that. She's got to be the one doing all the work, though, depending on what event it is that she's going to be racing. So if she's really kind of not stale on the 400-meter hurdles, but if it's not lighting the fire like it used to light, then she has to just figure out, like, let's put the commercial side away. Let's put this would be great for us as like track fans or Americans at home to watch. Like, what is it that she's realistically going to want to set her on fire to go and do for the next
we are
3 years?
so lucky to have an athlete like Sydney.
Absolutely.
Because now we're saying, oh, switch of like keep doing different events. You're so unbelievably talented. Maybe you do
the long jump.
Exactly.
She used to do the long jump. in high
And
school,
you would
do the long
never give this type of treatment to another athlete who has just done this, because it's like, oh yeah, because no one really has done this in recent memory, right? With us.
Yeah.
And so that it's not fair to us. It's not fair to her for us to be sitting here saying you run less than a full year of the 400. And now we're like, well, don't do this anymore because you're so good. And now do a different event. Don't go back to the 400-meter hurdles. Don't do if Sydney was listening to this, she'd be like, first off, this guy's wearing a fucking great weight shark head, and I can't even really understand what's coming out of him. But they're already demanding that I do 200s and 100s. So it's not fair to her. Let her enjoy this and say, you know what? Like, I've still got goals in these events. And maybe if you guys are lucky, I'll drop down and do other events. But you don't get to be the ones that say the type of events I should be doing based off today.
Well, to even think about it from like the Paulino standpoint, where like she had just like, so tonight, what did Sydney accomplish? Yes, she ran a crazy fast time and she moved to number 2 all time. What it does is it reframes, the standard for a lot of people, herself, Paulino. But I think that the key with Sydney is that hold on.
Can I go finish?
Go on.
The key with Sydney is that like what she has
say,
done is that she with tonight's performance is that over the last couple of years, Paulino has come so close. Has won consistently the gold medal, but has not sniffed anywhere close to the world record. Everyone has thought like, all right, like that world record is going to be unattainable, like it's dirty, all that kind of stuff. Tonight we brought ourselves so much closer. And it also brought Paulino so much closer that we're setting ourselves up for Paulino versus Sydney for another year or two, if she chooses to, and Nasser as well, is just a treat in and of itself. And the world record will fall as a consequence. It's no longer a sense of like, we have to wrap ourselves around like the fact that like we're chasing a time and like these are XYZ. Like we're 0.1 or 0.178
I was just saying, like,
or 0.18 away.
No, exactly. No,
No.
it doesn't. It's the time
Just
comes
tonight,
with the time
This
comes
is the
with
world
the
record,
competition.
and the time was amazing. That's it. Like for her, she stepped into this challenge of trying to beat 2 of the all-time greats, and she accomplished that.
Exactly. Like Sydney didn't. I don't know Sydney's mindset going into this meet, but there's no way that Sydney thought her main goal is to get this gold medal. And the time, if the world record is the goal, will come when you're just racing to win. And so it's like the more races you win at this level, the times will come, whether it's a world record, the American records, which came today. But like thinking about, so like Paulino, she was never like, these times for her came when she's racing Sydney. The quality of the athletes raise, and then the times come with that. But you can't be chasing the times. You need to be chasing the quality performances and trying to win these races.
I know you said it was unfair to Sydney for us to be speculating about her future, but I also agree it's unfair to us, our mush brains. She's so good at she's just like so good, and it leads us to speculate. Like,
but that's the fun part of sports.
That is the fun part, and that's hey, we have microphones and we're just shooting the shit.
The thing is, everyone's thinking that, right? It's like it is, even though yes, it it's not necessarily unfair, but when you're at the level that Sydney's at, these type of conversations will come because everybody is thinking it. And because a track athlete's and an athlete's career is so short, and you are somebody who is as talented, arguably one of the most talented athletes that we have ever seen
Yeah.
at these, not just these, like we're saying these events. I'm like, what even events am I talking about? Because she's good in all these events. So it's fun to talk about this idea that she should keep trying out new events and keep having the success that she had today in the 400 and these other events, because you've seen glimpses of this type of talent throughout the entire range. Every event that she takes a shot at, she has some, there's never like, oh man, she absolutely bombed this event. It's one of these things that she can be so good at all of them. So it's fun to talk about it. And I do think when it comes down to it, I'm sure she is thinking about certain things like this too.
I'm almost thinking of like, all right, we need to reframe this going forward as like the men's 400 hurdles, where it's like, okay, this isn't a one-off race. This is like the next 4-year cycle. We're going to get Sydney, Paulinho, and Nasser.
100%.
Like just going back and forth.
But the
And
thing
it's
is,
like-
Sydney's going to keep us on our toes as to like whether or not I'm
and-
going to go back
Right,
and all that stuff.
And now it's like, okay, well, now I hope she doesn't do anything else.
Yeah.
I hope she just runs the 400. So we
Yes.
have these 400 matchups against some of the three of the 4 best women of all time.
Well, why would she go back to the 400 hurdles?
Well,
like
she's
unless
got some time to put, like, if she has a metric in her head that miraculously
50.
she hasn't hit, which is sub 50, that would be probably, or maybe it's a legacy bench. It's like, how many of these can I win at the Olympics? I mean, I don't know. I don't know whatever it is that
Get
intrinsically
Anderson on here.
motivates her.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, yeah,
take-
Anderson, like
take
the most
Max.
qualified
Yeah.
guy. I'm just sitting here in a great white shark's head.
No,
and the
but
most
actually,
qualified guy.
like the YouTube chat right now is saying is like shark head spitting, and then someone else said, "I'm sorry, but Eric being passionate and serious in his position while he's in a shark head
Yeah,
is
that's
frying me."
There we go.
So
My beard is
Uh,
kind of like, hold on. Oh, okay, I got
There you
And then-
go. Yeah.
Here, so it's working out. It's working out.
all right,
Anderson, hit us. What do you like?
what was your reaction
Yeah,
to everything?
yeah.
I was. Wait.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, yo.
It's-
I
it
kinda
love it,
suits
I love
you.
it, I love it. I mean, I don't know. It's insane. I literally have no idea. This is so ridiculous. I love it.
Keep rolling with it.
Sorry,
Keep
sorry,
rolling.
sorry. You had no idea.
You had no idea what you were getting into.
I really didn't. I like walked in. You're talking about Sydney, and I literally, I don't know. All right, so
People were like, they're breaking down one of the greatest all-time track performances while wearing costumes on their head. We paid our first visit to Don Quixote, and we decided, hey, we're gonna spend $50 on some costumes tonight.
I like him.
I'm feeling it right now.
I'm
feeling it.
a fan.
I'm assuming this is, what is it, shrimp head inspired?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what it inspired it, but it is fun. I keep having to bring my mouth up to this neck because I can't really breathe otherwise. But
Everyone's saying Anderson's got the best costume, so carry on,
Oh,
Anderson.
Lord.
All right,
What?
Well,
so-
I mean, you all covered so much of the race, but I think like the fact that we saw the glimpses from the semifinals with Sydney running 48.3, breaking the American record, like chilling,
Yeah.
cruising. And I think going into the final, this race was set up perfectly to me based on the lane draws. Sydney was in lane 5,
Mhm.
Nasser was lane 7, I think, and then you had Paulinho in lane 9, right? Paulinho is notorious for not getting out as strong and running people down. But now she was forced to run from the gun and go out hard. But Sydney was now able to key off of Nasser, who was also known for going out extremely hard. And when you got to the back straight, you kind of see, or at least from my vantage point, I'm sitting like on the finish line side. Sydney, Nasser, Paulinho, they looked pretty evenly spaced. And I think that they looked like, all right, this is turning into a race. And by the time we got to, coming off the curve, entering the home straight, it was essentially just that. Sydney was a few meters ahead. Paulinho on the outside was just behind. And then you had Nasser kind of like behind them. Nasser, of course, ends up getting third. But as Sydney is going down the home straight, and we spoke to her afterwards in the mix zone, she knew that Paulino was right on her outside and was coming. And Paulino realized, okay, I have to turn it up, or else I'm not going to be able to get the gold medal like I want. And I think Sydney held on, pushed to the finish line, got that American record, like almost world record, 47.78, and she dragged Paulino to 47.98, which you said was, Paulino should be very, very happy. But it's just mind blowing to me, kind of how that race played out. I think it was perfectly set up, and yeah, the fact that Sydney did that, it's crazy.
All in all, I think like a lot of people were secretly ready to run 47 today. Sydney for sure.
Of course.
Heard rumblings of like the kind of fitness that she was in.
Yeah.
And it was alarming because I think we got a glimpse of that in the semifinals.
Yeah.
But then to see it all come together here was incredible. Earlier on today, like I started getting tagged in like a couple posts coming from like the Dominican Republic where like someone had done interviews with Paulino in the last couple of days, and Paulino had said like she believes that she could run 47.
47. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Okay, great. Like she achieved that. She ran 47.98. Lost.
But
like
lost.
someone else ran a little bit faster, which is a little bit crazy. If you would have probably thrown that scenario in her face like earlier in the week and be like, you're gonna run 47, but you're gonna lose. Like, especially after
right? That's insane. Something that's literally never happened before. And even
is that true? Like
This is the first time that someone's run
so
47.
Paulina's 47.98 is the fastest losing time ever in a 400 race.
You have the world record and it
Sydney.
the second fastest time ever before was
Wow.
47.99.
Yeah.
So,
I guess it just hit me.
But like even just
Mitch is like, yeah, it's literally like the third fastest of all time. Like no,
Close
way.
it.
I'm like, that's the fastest. I'm like, wow, that makes you like, yeah, of course. Fucking joking.
I mean, but what I'm thinking of, even outside of obviously the legendary time, is just what y'all were saying with like the competition. This is what we were waiting for. We were supposed to see this matchup at the LA Grand Slam track meet, and we didn't get to see it.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Right? Literally. But now we got to see, now we literally got to see the race, and it lived up to expectations. Like, how many times does a race that people have been looking for with all the main players come together on the track? And it was raining, right? We've not seen a great performance like this. And we actually saw this race deliver, like in every way possible.
I mean, Sydney just kind of gives you so many different scenarios to play around with, right? Like, what if this was run in Eugene in like a little bit in like clear skies and like, warmer temperatures? Yeah.
Like she runs 46. I will say, I know you were talking about like, other events she can do. So Sydney, shout out to Sydney. I don't know if you had spoke about the interview, the mix zone interview, but she
a little bit.
So she always does very brief mix zone interviews because
2 minutes or 1 minute and 39 seconds or something like that. Yeah,
like
so it was really short. Yeah.
So you have someone there who's like, all right, you got to be quick with the questions, and someone says one more question, and they pass it to some international journalist. And shout out to him, not like to disparage, but he's like,
oh, the Seb Co question.
Oh no
about running the 800.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she said like no comment.
Yeah.
I guess, sure, cool. To me, it's interesting to speculate about the 800, but like,
Kelly Hodgkinson's over there, like, what?
Dude, like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know. That was just not a great question.
That's not the way to end
the interview. And she literally says
no comment and walks off. Right?
Like, come on, y'all. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect sometimes? But from some of these people in these scrums. But okay, so, the funny part about just like all of us speculating as to just like, all right, like I think she should run the 200, I think she should run the 400, or maybe she should go back to the 400 hurdles, like all that stuff. If it was up to her, it's the long jump that she would choose.
I know. She did that in high school,
in all honesty, like when she's been asked, which was actually I think like an in-stadium question that she got at the U.S.
sick.
Championships. It was like, if you were to do any other event but your own, like what would it be?
Well,
You
could she
kind of
double?
just to lead her on. It would be like, she said long
I'm like, you
jump.
can't just do the long jump. I mean, do the long jump and then
I mean,
and then the and the 800.
why not? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, she's unbelievably talented. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I feel like so long as you talk about Sydney like the way that you guys are talking about her is respectful of how great she is, I surely it's a little bit of a compliment that the conversation is in. Like, well, what else can you do?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
who else in world athletics could you realistically watch win the 400 in their first year, go to second fastest time of all time? For anybody else on their resume, that's like, oh, what a career. I mean, that's just incredible.
yeah.
Let's see if they win the Olympics. Whereas it's like, all right, now what
You know
long
who's
jump, maybe like that? That's a cool thing to be able to have people say about you.
You know who's saying please don't just immediately switch events is Paulino and Nat. We're like, oh, do the 800 in the long jump, and they're like, no, please don't. I actually want to race you again, bad. We're like, immediately switch and do different stuff. They're like, we this was the best race. This is the best race they've been involved in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no,
gonna be the best
we're
400
like
we've
just
seen in
we're
a
like
while.
mix it up
Yeah,
and maybe go
by
back
far.
to the 400 hurdles or do whatever you want and go to the long jump. Someone in the mix zone is saying, "How about the 800 for you?" And they're like, "What? What the hell are you talking about?" No. Stick around for a bit because I'd love a part 2. I wouldn't mind getting another crack at you because, God, she comes in, immediately runs this type of performance, and we're like, do something else because we are insatiable. I'm like the American brain in me is like, I need more and I need more now and I want a different thing and entertain me. You're so unbelievable, but I want to see it in a different event.
Oh.
And I want to see it now. Do the long jump and the 800. Let's talk about the 15 after you break the world record in the 800. And Paulino's like, and as they're like, these people are crazy. Let's just focus on maybe running this race back a couple more times. And it's so funny that we just immediately are like, oh, just switch. And when I say me, I mean,
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
literally,
You started this whole
literally,
thing.
like about 35 seconds ago, I said, I think she should go to the 200. And what's unfortunate is I still think she should, but play around with it a bit. When you have a generational talent like Sydney, she has all the power in the world now, right? Like because everybody is actually just like me in the great white shark helmet saying, please do whatever you want. But Sydney holds all the cards. And if Sydney wants to go back to the 400 hurdles, we would say thank you.
Yeah.
She would say thank you because I'm gonna go back to the 400 hurdles and
I'm gonna
say,
break 50
thank
seconds.
Thank you so much. Because she's like, oh, she could retire right now,
That's the thing.
and we're like, please don't go back to the 400. It's so amazing to see her just like doing her thing at this event, and we're genuinely lucky
we're so lucky.
choosing to still
Very
be
fortunate.
around.
At this point, Sydney is 26 years old. She has
Wow.
4
Yeah.
Olympic gold medals,
Mm-hmm.
3, or now I guess 4 world championship gold medals, and like she might add another one with the 4x4. I mean, this
right.
only today just
Like,
gets us thinking like, what the hell is she going to split on the 4x4?
That's actually crazy because she has her splits on the 4x4 are slower than this time. Like her fastest split, I think, is like 47.8 or 47,
Wow.
something like that. 9.
No, I think that's what it was. It was like, I think someone on Twitter was like, I kind of speculate that she's going to run pretty close to her 400 split, and she
ridiculous.
exceeded like all of those expectations today.
It's so nasty.
What a mad dog.
No, I mean like
It's crazy. I do think that just in terms of events, it's like I think Well, actually, next year is obviously we have
Ultimate Champs,
Ultimate Champs,
which she now has the bye for the
In
400
both.
hurdles and the 400 because
Ooh,
she's
what does
the
that
world
schedule look like?
champion in the 400
and
and
the Olympic champion.
the Olympic champion in the 400 hurdles.
That'd be interesting. I think because I feel like she's mentioned it last year. She wants to get sub 50 in the 4 hurdles. I figure she'll like attempt that at some point, but that will be.
Would
I don't
that
know.
be like a world championships or like the world
Nah.
ultimate championships, or would that just be like kind of like a diamond league setup for
I mean,
her to
She,
go?
she hasn't hurdled at the Diamond League since 2019.
Yeah.
So it's like
And I don't even know if she needs to. Like, she's done. There was one year where she went to like Memphis, Tennessee, and
Yeah.
almost broke the world record. Like when the hurdles were misplaced. Like
You were
she can
there.
go, like yeah. Like she can go anywhere she wants to.
So you
try and
think
break
I
a
just
record.
mean like, would it be one of these like offshoot events,
can't- yeah.
or would it be at a world championship type of that type of meet?
I don't know. I think it may be at like an offshoot, unless because in my opinion, I think the only way she maybe goes back to 400 hurdles is like if she wants another Olympic gold medal, like a guaranteed Olympic gold. Because I actually am of the opinion that last year she stuck with the 4 hurdles because like that was a guaranteed gold to capitalize off of the Olympic hype, right? Like all of that speculation, but. Who knows? I mean, we're
wildly speculating here. Even like the YouTube chat, someone chimed in and said, "Why is no one considering that she will step away for motherhood?" I mean, yes, that's a thought that crosses your mind, but also you're talking to a panel of 4 guys. Like, that's not on us to try to speculate.
Immediately,
well, 4 guys, and one of them is in a shark head. Like, and I'm at Pikachu.
I was like, you should maybe do the 800, and Mitch goes, you need to become a mother.
Oh my god!
But interesting. I guess like, all right, you as a fan, right? Let's carve out your fantasy, just sort of path to LA for Sydney. Like, what is the double you would love to see her attempt in LA, and then what is the path to a successful double gold?
I think she set her up well. She set herself up well for 400 hurdle double because in LA. So probably what she does is she continues to hurdle. Maybe next year she hurdles. The year after in 2027, she like mixes with like 400 hurdles, but then decides what she does at the world champs. Which she has the wild card now in the 400 and like no one's touching her in the 400 hurdles. And then she makes sure that she's ready for the double in LA. Maybe she does the double in Beijing to like prep herself. Because I think she's proven, like, I don't know, World Athletics probably has a thing where it's like, I think they did this with like Michael Johnson at one point and Allison Felix, where it's like, you have to prove yourself in both events before we can switch the schedule.
That's right.
And I think she's proven herself now.
Because Allison was like trying so hard to get the 200, 400 double for Rio, for Tokyo, and then it never really panned out. Yeah.
And I would say there is some discretion there because someone like Mondo even changed where the pole vault was jumped last year or in Budapest. I forget where it was, but
what do you like in the schedule?
No,
like
literally where it was in the stadium.
I think that's fine.
His preference.
Yeah.
But to that degree is like if you have a star that is good enough.
Yeah.
You actually can sort of alter the
100%,
schedule
so they should.
to make it work for them.
I think like I do think you should.
Yeah, great.
Like,
I guess like someone did bring this up. Do you think the World Ultimate Championships next year is an opportunity for her to attempt a double for the first time?
Yes.
It is an opportunity, but I don't think she would do that because it's not the Olympic schedule, right? It's not a global.
That's right, because it's only 3 days.
It's 3 days.
Yeah,
it's not like a week-long or 10-day thing that is going to be the Olympics. That's why I think Beijing in 2027 is more likely because her and Bobby want to see what will this actually look like in practice. What will 10 days of 400 hurdles look like and 4x4 look like at the Olympics? Because like 3 days and it's like 2 rounds or whatever at World Ultimate Championships. It's not like 3 rounds for everything. So I think she just does a little something.
So this is a question for Anderson because now she has the bye, right?
Dubai. She's going to Dubai.
The Dubai. So because now I'm thinking of the U.S. trials because it's so difficult. And you're saying that this would be the first test run for them to do the double. Is this like because she has the bye for Beijing. Like she wouldn't have to run the 4 at USA's.
No,
And doesn't have to run that condensed version
no.
right at USA's. And so she would actually be able to try that double.
It's kind of wild because it's like for
But
all.
we have to actually think about it as like for the US athletes because of the qualifying process.
Yeah. No, and so that's what I'm saying. Kind of like in a way, like for all the crap that sometimes Bobby Kersey gets, is like the dude. If he and Sydney sat down and like mapped out this greater vision for LA, it's already underway.
Oh yeah, I
Like-
think it's been underway for a couple years now.
Yes, because it's like if we check certain boxes, and like tonight was a massive one of winning the
Mhm.
400 here. It's like we just unlocked the buy for 2027, which means like we don't have to do this,
Mhm.
you know, earlier on this season. It's like he's a magician,
Yeah.
and like I think like he's tonight was a great way of like mastering one event, and
Yeah.
like all things came together for Sydney and for Bobby. Like the first thing I think Sydney did was like give, you know, kind of the kudos and the thanks
Yeah.
to Bobby for leading her to this performance. And yeah, I mean, like we're really excited as a result.
Excited, man. This is legendary. Legendary.
I mean, it's kind of wild. I mean, we just spent what, almost an hour dissecting Sydney's 47.78. We did
Yeah.
it for the men's 15.
I mean,
but
it's one
also
of these things you could keep talking about it for a long ass time.
everyone is, and here's again, like I keep coming back to it, it's like this is sports, and like we, and the best part about Sydney is like she gives you all of these different scenarios. Like she does
So many.
like
So many.
she does the shortest amount of time performing on the track, but then like leads us to have all of these
Like
conversations.
huge conversations. Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
It's truly, again, I think like for everyone, don't take these moments for granted. Like
No,
Sydney
no.
Sydney tonight put together an amazing performance, and like if you ever have the chance to be in the stands to watch her race, you take that up, because like it's cool.
Yeah.
It never gets old.
Gosh.
and
there's
it's going to be
the
gone before you know it.
and it's like there's just sort of like, yeah, there's always the chance for something incredible to happen.
Yeah.
So that is the magic and power of Sydney Mclaughlin-Levrone.
We can do the 200 semis real quick.
All right,
And then
we're gonna go
hold on
into the
the-
200s that took place today. Nothing too
Nothing
crazy.
Too crazy. I think.
Whoa.
Well, we'll talk about the men in a second, because yeah, I heard Mitch groan. But the women they went through very cleanly. I think Melissa Jefferson-Wooden ran 22.00, I think. And she just like almost stopped at the line, like essentially easing up, like super comfortable. Sharika Jackson 21.99.
She's looking better each race out.
Better each race. I think she's hunting for gold. I think Melissa
Really?
I absolutely. I think Melissa is the gold medal favorite by far, but Sharika, because she's looking better and better, and she has that talent. Not saying that she's going to run like 21.4, which got her golds, you know, in the previous years, but do not be surprised. Like she is hunting for a gold medal. And then also shout out to the other Americans, where you had Anavia Battle. She got the win in her heat. Brittany Brown, she qualified on time, but running 22.13, so she had to wait a while, but her time qualifier is faster than a lot of the other top qualifiers. And then this was interesting because Mackenzie Long, she initially didn't qualify on time, and so she qualified to the final. She got 22.48. She actually tied with Antonique Strawn from Bahamas, who ran 22.48 as well.
Mhm.
Initially, they gave Antonique the edge into and gave her that 8th place spot. But it looks like they're just going to have 9 lanes in the final, which and
Huh.
giving Mackenzie Long.
Why did they give Mackenzie Long?
I have no idea. I actually interviewed Mackenzie, and she was like, "It's like, yeah, we thought it was over." Like, I'm actually just seeing this right now, to be honest. I didn't even know walking here. So it's kind of surprising, but they've been running 8 lanes, and this is the first one where they're going to have 9 lanes in the final.
It has happened before. Yeah.
2015.
but like a DQ, like why?
No, it's not a DQ.
Oh yes.
No, no,
yes.
I
Oh,
did-
actually, yeah. Well, I was gonna say 2023 and the women's 100, Dean Asher Smith and
Yeah.
Iwa Swoboda, they went into the final for the
Great
100.
Paul, Mac.
Yeah.
That was an incredible moment. We were in the mix
Oh
room
yeah.
for that.
There was a
And then
whole
Iwa
thing.
Svoboda was like told at that moment, it's like you got to get ready for the final. She goes, "Oh my god!"
Like
and
it
like
was
ran off.
crazy. So this is pretty cool. I mean, Mackenzie. Well, obviously she found out at some point, but there's an interview up on CITIUS with kind of
That she's like, I'm done
Yeah.
for the season.
But-
But you know what? Mackenzie Long has had the most fake outs for like the
I
end of
know.
her season so far. It's like she thought, all right, I need a break, mental reset and all that kind of stuff. And then she hears, actually, Gabby says that she's not going to run the 200. Like, you should take that spot. And then she's like, oh, okay, all right, I could keep this going another week or two. And then it's like, all right, you're at the World Championships, and then today you're like, all right, I'm not gonna make it through. But then someone says,
Yeah.
actually, we're gonna run 9.
But shout out to women's 200, 4 Americans in the final, which is pretty dope. That's like pretty dope. Men's 200. So I found this to be pretty interesting. I think all the main players qualified through between Noah, Letsile, Brian Lavelle, Kenny Bednarek. So in the first heat, you did have Kenny Bednarek. He, qualified through very comfortable along with Alex Ogando. Nothing crazy. Heat 2 is where things kind of turned up. This is where you had Brian Lavelle, Letsile Tobolo, Courtney Lindsay, and Gout Gout. All in this heat. This was a stacked heat.
We talked about this last night. Yeah.
Brian Lavelle drops 19.78. Very comfortable. Coming off yesterday where he ran 19.8. Super comfortable. Letsile, he was Olympic champion, runs 19.95. He also qualifies through. And then you have Courtney Lindsay from the US. He unfortunately was unable to qualify. And then you had Gout Gout, the guy, right? And maybe we could talk about Gout Gout in a second, but he doesn't qualify. But just to wrap up the heats, Noah Lyles, he kind of responds running 19.51 in his semifinal. And we asked him after, like, was this a response to Brian Lavelle and his 19.7? And he was like, not necessarily Brian, but like kind of to put everyone on notice about what I'm capable of. And like, this is my event in a sense.
Ooh, sorry. Does I should know this, but does Noah running faster give him a better lane going into the next round? Because like, if you watch someone run 19.7 and you're like, actually, I want to be on the inside of that in the final, like I have to run something faster.
So-
and like that could fairly eat. I don't know how they're doing lane draws in this because some of them are weird, but like
Yeah.
to me that makes sense.
So yes, and so the final lanes are out with Noah in lane 6, Brian Lavelle in 7. So Noah's on his inside, and then Kenny B in lane 8. So from my understanding, what they do is the heat winners, they get the priority lanes, which I think are 6, 7, and 8. And I think it's a random draw. I don't know if it's time based, but that's how that's my understanding of it. But yeah, to your point, Noah is in lane 6, Brian Lavelle is on the outside, and that probably does give Noah a bit of an advantage. Letsile is in 5, yeah. So it'll be interesting. That's kind of tough for but it sets things up. Tough for Letsile, be interesting. Yeah.
Real quick on the whole 9 people in the women's 200 meter final is Strachan or
Dambile, but no,
No.
there's 8 here.
No. I mean, no, in the women's.
Oh, Anthony Strawn.
Yeah. She's injured, so like she told commentators and announcers that like she's probably not gonna.
Oh,
so she hurt herself.
Interesting. Okay, so
that's probably like Mackenzie.
I see. Okay, interesting.
She pulled something in her semifinal.
Oh yeah, she had a calf injury. Actually, Sharika, she doesn't do interviews, but she stopped and told us that she has to go.
She's like, actually, that person's injured.
But yeah, so just those dynamics going into the final. Noah, I think this is Noah versus Brian versus Kenny Letsile, maybe a step back, but I don't know.
So why hasn't Brian, I guess, like been at any of these diamond leagues or anything like that? Like it just like he totally just ran
he ran
Jamaica
Racers,
Grand
They're in
Slam,
Budapest.
and then he ran in Budapest Continental Tour,
but never diamond league.
never
Right?
diamond leagues. It's possible that maybe he struggled to get in diamond leagues because he didn't run last year. He made the Olympics, but he hadn't run fast until actually after Grand Slam. He ran 19.7, a windy 19.7. And then even Jamaican Trials wasn't great. So it's possible he wasn't able to get lanes at Diamond Leagues or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
No idea.
mean, 19.5 by Noah
Yeah.
is an absolute statement.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it's not like he just came out and ran the semi a bit hard. Like, no, 19.5 is an insane time. You don't like, this is a world championship winning time. He clearly came into this race, this semi, being like, I'm gonna blow the doors off everybody and show them I'm Noah fucking Lyles. It's just people don't just accidentally show up and run 19.5. You really don't even see that. When was the last time someone ran 19.5? Was it Noah?
That's
No,
Noah.
no, last year.
Well, last year they ran 19.4.
It's just, I mean,
But
it
no,
really
it's
is a
crazy.
statement.
Yes. It's literally a crazy time. It's in the semifinal.
If you're these other guys, I'm thinking about like Ja'Cory in like the men's 400. He runs this in very fast time, and I don't know sprints like these other guys, but
Like these other guys, damn.
like I don't know sprints like you, Anderson. So I'm asking you, does Noah running this fast? Do these guys? Is this something that he easily comes back from, and that he can? It's like, okay, this doesn't take anything out of him, and in the final he'll be 100%. I'm just thinking about like Ja'Cory Patterson, the 400. He runs 43.9, and it looks like, well, you just kind of ran the whole meat out of your legs in that one race. Is there something where like a Brian Lavelle is looking at that? He goes, yes, he ran 19.5 in the semis, but he should have run that in the final.
Well, maybe. I mean, but the thing with Noah is he is experienced, right?
Yeah.
He's done doubles now it's the third year of him doing a double. He's been competing in 200s at the global champs since 2019. Like, he's very, very experienced, and he knows how to, make sure his body is right between each of the rounds to be able to execute his best in the final. And yeah, that's one thing I think about. And we asked him that in the mix zone afterwards, and he's like, no, like, I feel my body feels good after this race. My body has felt good after the rounds of the 100 and the 200. And obviously he's going to get treatment. He's going to do all that, and he's going to be ready for the final. I don't see any reason why he won't be ready. If anything, I mean, I would be more concerned about someone. I'm not concerned about him, but someone like Brian Lavelle, who's less experienced, right? Like, he hasn't actually competed in a global championship final. He's still significantly younger, right? So if anything, I'd be more concerned about him. I'm not actually concerned about him considering how he's actually executing these races. I still think Noah and him are the guys to beat. But yeah, I think Noah is just too experienced. Like he won the double in 2023, and he ran his fastest time in the final. He ran 19.5 in the 200. So yeah, I don't have any issues with
Could you
Noah.
see American records from Noah in the final?
I actually think it may take close to an American record for Noah to win. Because in my opinion, the way that Brian is running, I think Noah is going to be pushed. And Noah being on the inside of Brian in that final means that Noah is going to go out hard. He's going to either want to track Brian or just go out hard and execute. And even more technical, he's been talking about through the rounds, he's spoken about how he's working on the curve, making sure that he's getting out quick and really executing the curve. And that's something similar he did at the Eugene World Champs when he won the gold medal and he got the American record. So I think it might take that.
Would you still call Noah do you think Noah's still the favorite?
I think he's a favorite.
Yeah.
But I definitely.
I guess, Anderson, this is something that people are probably just like, this Brian Lavelle guy just popped out of nowhere, outside of Jamaica. Jamaica knows who Brian Lavelle is.
Yeah.
All throughout the year, Diamond League graphics, World Athletics graphics, all this stuff. It's about Noah versus Letsile.
Yeah.
Noah versus Kenny.
Yep.
And then now in the last 5 days, Brian Lavelle emerges as this character. It's like, this is who the medals could be decided against. Can you give some context to people as to just sort of what's this guy's background? Where did he come from? Because he's 21 years old, U20 World Championship silver medalist in the 4x1 in 2021, 2022, but no individual global success or experience whatsoever.
None whatsoever. So last year, he came out of champs, he went to U20s, and then last year he ran, that was his kind of breakout year. He ran 19.94 at the Jamaican National Championships, won Jamaican Olympic trials, went to the Olympic Games, and he made it to the semifinals via the repechage rounds. So he was still young. That was his first global championships, didn't make the actual final. now this year, and I guess context is that I guess this is for Jamaican fans, but he's training under coach Shaniki Osborne, who is the coach who worked with Elaine Thompson-Herah in 2023. So if y'all remember, 2023, Elaine didn't make the Jamaican team, but after the World Championships, she started running 10.8s, 10.7s, I think, and she got second or third at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene. Like, she was back to the Elaine that we kind of saw. She left that coach eventually, and now she's dealing with injuries. But
While working with her husband, let's make that really clear to people. It's like her
There's
husband.
some-
Like, I'm with you guys, like, who are in Jamaica. It's like, why did her husband get involved? And like, all of a sudden, like, now she's like, it's tragedy. It's honestly like a
Guys are
massive
awesome.
tragedy. So I'm with you, Jamaica. Like, I don't know why he decided to get involved in her training. But Anderson, back to you.
So now training under her, that coach, he's now been able to make some huge strides. And this year he's been able to, I think, Grand Slam in Philly, that was to me kind of his initial step up, where he was able to finish second place behind Kenny B in I think some of those races. And then he went to he went to the Racers Grand Prix. He ran 19.7, slightly windy. It was like plus 2.5. So that gave everyone indication like, okay, you're ready. Like, you can actually do this. He has a couple sub 10 performances in the 100 under his belt. And then since then, he ran 9.82 in the 100. He's run 19.69 in the 200 in the Hungary Continental Tour. Like, he's had probably the last 2 years is where Brian Lavelle came out of. And now we're seeing it all culminating with potentially a medal at the World Champs.
He could have got some sick NIL money, like to go and run for like Oregon or something like that.
Jamaica, first off, let's talk about how Jamaica's crushing it. This meet.
Honestly,
like the Jamaica USA rivalry in sprints, because I mean, USA last year crushed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jamaica so far this championship has dominated the US kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's fun to see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking like the 100
the
smash,
men's 100.
men's
but
hundreds,
US
smash.
women, the
yes,
women's
US
100.
women crushed it, but I'm thinking and then what was
they got a medal in the long jump. They were able to get medals in the 110 hurdles.
2-3
They got
in the
2-3. Yeah. But I think to your point, like, there is that Jamaica US rivalry that's like really heating up, because 100
great.
meters on the women's side,
It's fun.
USA Jamaica, men's 100 meters, USA Jamaica, hurdles, USA Jamaica. Like, it's good.
It's
good.
great. You need that.
Yeah.
Like, it is fun to watch the Jamaica USA rivalry in the sprints, and it's great that it's just not it's never just a one-sided dominant, like,
especially
back
after
and forth.
last year, like how bad the
They
Olympics
didn't-
were
they
for
didn't. Yeah,
Jamaica. It was a
Jamaica didn't show up.
total tragedy and disaster.
Yeah, it was
Um,
rough. It was rough. So it's good to see it back. You
Do
know?
you have a soft right now? I guess like 200 meter final prediction, like medals for you.
based on what I've seen, I think
Yeah.
Noah, Brian, and Kenny B. I would say that. Yeah, because Letsile, I'm a little, I don't know. He just hasn't looked as great in the rounds. I know the heats, he did like this funny thing crossing the line. I don't know, but then
It's like dancing or
it was
something.
like dancing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. And then the semifinals, he ran 19.9, but he was so far behind Brian, who's looking good. And Kenny looked more comfortable running 19.8. So that's what I'm kind of feeling right now. Noah, Brian, and Letsile. I'm sorry, and then Kenny. So yeah. But yes.
what, like, let's see, like, fourth.
Yeah, let's see, like, probably fourth. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
But-
it's kind of nuts how like year over year, like so many Olympic medalists are like just either not even at this meet or just
Yeah.
missing the podium. It's been a fantastic and interesting World Championships.
What do you think it'll take to get on the podium? What type of time? What will it take for a bronze?
Well, last year bronze was 19.7 when Noah had COVID. So I think it'll be faster than that. I think it'll end up being like, it could be 19.5 or 6.
I heard how nuts the athlete hotel is here. It's been described to me as like if a cruise ship was a hotel.
Like, they'd love to have COVID.
And no, and then
They all got
and
bed
then
bugs.
There were some reported like there was one federation who was like dealing with 3 COVID positives. So I was like, it's not out of the question that we got a little COVID drama at this one.
Lord, let's not manifest it. But
No.
we got to talk about Gout Gout. A little
Yes.
bit.
Okay. So last night, Anderson and I were a little bit critical of your boy Mitch.
Yeah.
We were just like, the hype is a little bit much
Mhm.
for someone who kind of like, yes, like he's flashy in the sense of like we see the video clips, they're very cool. The times are there, like he ran faster than Bolt at a given age. But also just like there was just been a preservation of his image with the Monaco U23 race. In addition to that, just like finally, it's like I was like, he's about to lose like on the global stage. It's not. It's good. He's got tons of potential because he's like a super young rising talent, and it's great because he's got the name. He's got this electric personality. But it's like I think a lot of people needed to pump the brakes. And today, Anderson and I were just like, I don't see this guy making the final. I don't get what this huge crowd of people around him in the mix zone's all about. But no, he got eliminated.
Does he have a big,
huge crowd?
He's got he's like
he has
the biggest crowd?
There was yesterday.
So he's the biggest.
Actually, yeah, between yesterday today, Noah might even be bigger than Sydney. He was the guy.
Bigger than Sydney.
Yes.
That makes it like, yeah, boy. That's really cool. It is. I mean, bigger than Sydney.
It's insane.
Wow.
What? Okay. So what is it?
I'm like Mix. You hear me hyping you up? I'm like Mix.
Oh, I get to speak now.
Yeah.
Magikarp, tell us. Well, what is it?
Well, look, I think that it's a hard one because obviously, naturally, I'm going to have a slight bias because he's Australian.
But it's fine. Like we're Americans when we show our bias on the show.
Here's my point, right? I think the way that it gets described on a global market and these sort of conversations is sort of, I can see how people buy in and they're like, there's way too much hype. He's getting way too much world athletic attention, whatever it may be. But just as equal to that, in Australia, and he has absolutely no control over how much people are buying stock into him as a rise. And obviously when you have like the whole ecosystem of athletics is stat driven. So when people are drawing comparisons, being like, this guy's going to be the next Bolt, naturally global media and global companies and everyone's going to be like, holy shit, we want to get on top of the next Bolt. We want to see what this kid can do. At not one point will you ever find an interview of him coming out being like, I'm the next, yeah, guys, back me in. I'm the greatest thing you'll ever see.
I will give him all that credit.
To
Yeah,
make
for
that
sure.
like a real clear consideration, he's not the one driving the narrative. It's the world around him driving the narrative. And if you're a 17-year-old kid, of course you're just going to go out and do your thing. Like, what is he meant to do? Turn around and go, don't compare me to that. Don't compare me to that. I don't like that. Because then the media will go, this kid's not ready, actually. We've put way too much pressure on him. This kid's not ready. So to your point of him running Monaco, the whole process for him is that he's 17 years of age. And how many cases of burnout have you seen in global athletics before? Of people that get highly touted and they're going to be this and that, and they go race all these big races and they come 5th and 6th and 7th and 4th, and then they're like, I don't like this anymore. I'm not having that much fun because now I'm getting smacked around. Now my name's not quite as got the cachet that it used to have. And he's 17, like he's 17 and just grown into this. So his management said, you know what, we're going to send you to these big races, right? We're going to send you to the Golden Spike and we're going to send you to Monaco. And our intention here is that you get an understanding of what Europe is like. He's on school holidays, by the way. He's still going to sit his exams and do all this sort of stuff. And they want him to go there and have an enjoyable experience rather than go there and have to do all these massive press conferences and, you know, race against Latsila and race against these guys. And they were comfortable with him doing that at the World Champs because, like, you can't do anything other than get out there and race. And that's all he needed to do. And this whole narrative around like this guy should make the final, this guy can medal. To be completely honest, anyone that had any knowledge of athletics would have totally understood that that was completely unrealistic.
That's where we're coming at it
as
from.
an expectation.
Yeah.
And to have that as an expectation on him was ridiculous. Now, do I think it was possible? Yeah, I believe that it was possible. Like, there was a slight chance that maybe he would make the final, but the metric of success that was at least coming out of Australia was never, you have to make this final or you have to medal for us to consider it a success. The second he got out of the heats, everyone was like, you know what? I respect the hell out of the fact the 17-year-old kid rocked in and harnessed the energy of 60,000 people and millions of vibe. In Australia, I shit you not, he had 3.2 million people tune in to watch his race. In terms of like global view, like in Australia, that's unheard of. That's like, you don't even get that sort of viewing for like our number one sport in the AFL. So everyone's dialed in. So for him to harness it and if like just go and watch his interviews and listen to the pure
he's
joy.
still a kid.
Exactly. So in terms of the hype, I get it. I could actually get why people globally are like, why is there so much gout in my feed? But just let it be known that not a single part of it is driven from him or his team being like,
Okay,
"Look
I
at
respect
us and
that.
look
Yeah,
at
yeah.
what we're doing." So we've never seen this in Australia. If we've never seen this outside of the US or Jamaica or anything like that before. So when it goes into a smaller market like ours, it's going to be a huge thing because it's like, yeah, we're going to nurture the fucking hell out of this kid and push him as much as we can because we're excited by it. We've got an Olympics in 7 years.
Yeah.
And he's from Ipswich,
Yeah.
which is like an hour out of Brisbane. So it's like you want to talk about like even in the way that you talk about Sydney, it's like how can we optimize Sydney in LA?
You
Our
guys-
narrative is around
That's crazy.
this kid's 17. He's only going to be 24 when the Olympics comes to town.
That's insane.
So
It is
how do we
yeah.
optimize Gout Gout for Brisbane?
That's
We
insane.
pump the shit out of him and we let him know, and this is the most important thing I can say, we can let him know that no matter what he was to do at these world champs,
Yeah, so you don't-
we're still going to love him and still think that he is an incredible young man and athlete. And that is the beauty of Australia.
My God, Mitch, that was.
I know. Mitch for president.
Yeah. Mitch, I wish you had just as eloquent of a whole delivery on that on the race walk as you did for this, because it's like now I find myself being like, you know what? I feel like an asshole for like everything I said about Gout Gout last
My
night.
face is soaking wet underneath this mask. My God, what an absolute delivery on that speech, Mitch.
Yeah.
But to your point, the fact that how big of a star Gout Gout is, like bigger than Sydney, is an
Tonight.
insane.
That's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Let me
I'm
play.
just saying, like, it's as far as when you run a race and you have the cameras and the reporters that want to get words from you.
Mm.
And I'm not saying you're a bigger global star, but it's at this moment, you have a huge market of people that want to hear from you, and it is very cool.
Mm.
It's one of these things where you almost. There's no way that Gout Gout isn't feeling you can feel when you are a big star.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're this young and you have this much talent, this much and now we're talking it's like, yes, you've got the Olympics in your home country technically at your very prime of athletics, especially in terms of
And
sprinting.
that's a big part.
It's a big part of it, and there's no way that he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's about you can I'm feeling the pressure for him.
Yeah.
And so it's about like how do you manage that and how do you almost not put the weight of the world on this kid's shoulders and say, "Oh, he doesn't need to be the next Bolt." Right? He just needs to be himself and he needs to go out there and just kind of fulfill his potential.
Yeah.
It's just kind of and it is the sport because it's like this guy is the next Bolt. He's faster than Bolt was when Bolt was his age. But it gives this type of expectation that it's almost impossible to fulfill those shoes.
Yeah.
Case in point, I guess, and Anderson, you and I were probably like kind of pull this example top of mind is like it's Arian Knighton.
I was kind of looking at
Arian,
packages and
it's
stuff.
No, it is.
Gout Gout, like the potential is what a lot of people are buying stock in right now. Arian, that star and that fire just like took off so fast
Immediately.
that it was like the time happened, the fourth place at the Olympics
this
and
was
at
all in 1
17
year.
years old.
Yeah.
He like
Like
went pro
it's
in
Gout
that
Gout's
same year.
age right now,
Yeah.
right?
No, I know. I know the Arian
Arian
Knighton
proved
race
it. It's
well.
just sort of just like from there on, part of it is like maybe a mismanagement of the brand.
Well, it's like
Also-
there's
but
no
also-
others. There's like
Yeah.
with
He's an
Arian Knighton,
American.
with
Yeah.
Arian Knighton, there's no Lyles. There's
Yes,
these other
exactly.
American stars.
Yeah.
There is nobody in Australia like Gout Gout.
No, there's not.
Literally.
And that's the thing, and that's when we're talking about like the management of the brand and all that sort of stuff. That's the whole point. That's like the online, I suppose keyboard warriors or whatever it might be like, oh, he's ducking. He's like,
That was me and Anderson.
well, then I'm talking to you guys. And I can get it where it comes from in a global scale because you want to see him race the best, and that's everyone's expectation. It's like, why would you go all the way to Europe and not race the best? But to that point, you think about the tenure of an athlete's career and how much do you want to get out of athletes? How long do we want you in here for? Do we want you to be a flash in the pan? A really great story for a couple of years, and you go over and race these big races, and maybe he doesn't go quite the way he wants, and he's like, I'm a bit disillusioned with the sport. I don't really like it. Or do you wrap your arms around him and go, hey, we want to see you succeed for a long time. Selfishly, we got the Olympics in 7 years. Like, we'd love for you to be around there. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoy what it is for now, because like, I'll tell you, great, like Jan, I've said this multiple times. He was in Monaco. I remember talking to his managers. I was like, what's his weekend look like? You know, how cool is this? Is in Monaco? He's like, yeah, well, he's got a dinner after this with like the head of World Athletics and the Prince of Monaco and Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri. And
That's a hell of a dinner.
Hell of a dinner.
Rattling names. I'm
Jesus.
like, wow, holy shit. Like, what a weekend for him. I'm like, and what does he do after that? He's like, oh, he flies to Ipswich tomorrow. He's got school on Monday.
Crazy.
So you know what I'm, and
That
it's like,
sucks.
so you're thinking of this kid, you're like, wow, this is incredible. And then you're like, oh, he's going to go and sit in a classroom on Monday and just go about being a regular school kid. So I think what they're trying to do, and his manager JT and his coach Dyer and everyone in his corner is doing a good job, is just being like, just get through this year.
Yeah.
Get through your last year of school, go have fun, go to the world champs, how sick's that? And then once you're 18, because he's 18 in December, all right, then you're in, like, that is the time when you're a full-time athlete. That you go hit it then. Go and explore the world of global athletics and see what happens then. I think this year was just, he caught fire. It was lightning in a bottle. And it was like, all right, how do we keep a lid on it until we can let it loose? And that's what we've done.
I was going to say, just obviously different age, but like there's a thing with like a thing Mo where she's maybe been seen as, is she losing love with the sport? And maybe there's that aspect of like, okay, she had so much success like super early coming out of college, but like, are we going to see that success carry through all the way to LA in the case of a thing Mo? And we wouldn't want to lose that with Gout Gout, or y'all wouldn't want to lose that with Gout Gout.
Yeah, exactly. And he's such a beautiful natured kid, and just like getting the chance to speak to him so frequently, and like getting to call these races last year and do all that sort of stuff. It's just been a thrill, not just to see him as an athlete, but like how I always say this: if I was him and I was getting the attention and I suppose the money and all that sort of stuff that he's getting, I'd be the biggest shithead of all time. I would be buying
Literally
stupid
just about to
shit.
say
Like,
that about you.
I would be the most obnoxious, insufferable little turd rolling around. And like,
Truly.
then you talk to this kid and you're like, you would just have such a beautiful, calm, like rational, like he bought like a Hyundai as his first car because he said it has good mileage. Like, I'm like,
That's a
get a
smart kid.
Lambo. But
I mean, it's
you know
one
what
of
I
the
mean? Like,
we
you gotta
love to
protect
we
that.
love to place these high expectations on somebody when we see the amount of talent. It's just like we love to project.
Yeah.
I mean, think about there's so much time with an athlete like Gout Gout, just like Anderson said about a thing. Think about a thing a couple years ago and where she was and where she is now. There's so much that can happen.
Yeah.
And so it kind of is about, because the media, us, is going to say crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to say,
Spent an hour.
we're going to spend an hour, but we're going to say, oh, is Gout Gout the next Usain Bolt? Is Gout Gout going to be, one of the greatest of all time? And Gout Gout's like, I've got class on Monday morning, and my Hyundai's is I got low oil in my Hyundai, and there's a bunch of other things going on. And yes, I've got a ton of cash, but I've still got like real world issues, and there's so much time between when Gout Gout is the current day and there's the Olympics in 7 years, and I think you can win a double gold medal in the 100 and 200.
Yeah.
And it's there's the amount of things that can happen is endless.
Yeah.
And so it's, how do you manage the expectations? How do you keep his head straight? How do you, most importantly, keep him in love with the sport?
Exactly.
How do you make it so that every single day he wants to train?
Yeah.
How do you make it so every single day he wants to actually race in 7 years?
Yeah.
Because there is such a good chance that he won't. If we
That's it.
actually us,
Yeah.
keep saying all these expectations and putting this type of pressure on him, then in 7 years is a lifetime in
It's a
athletics.
long time.
Especially
Yeah.
sprinting.
Yeah, it really
Events like the 100 and 200, your longevity is so
Much shorter.
So short.
Yeah.
So to imagine that you're 17 years old but it's like, no, focus on 7 years from now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a big runway.
Think about you at 17.
Yeah.
I couldn't focus on the next day
Yeah.
at 17.
agree.
It's like,
I
oh,
love with
no. It's 7 years. The Olympics are here. I'm like, 7 years, man. 7 years? You want me to focus on 7 years? I've got 500 cash and I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
The world's my oyster. I'm not making it till I'm not gonna be alive in 7 years. It's just it's a crazy expectation, and so it's really just about managing that and hoping that the kid can keep a good head on his shoulders
Yeah.
for the time being.
Exactly. And he gets to race in Eugene next year at the World Juniors again.
Oh,
Don't
that's
forget.
crazy.
And to maybe, and this is probably where the hype started. He was the silver medalist at the last World Juniors when he was 16. So, there's things like that where you're like, wow, this is a pretty incredible sort of potential to keep blossoming. So, and to your point of Brian, like, it was interesting listening you talk about Brian in terms of like, oh, now he's 21 and now he's starting to hit these times. That's still an Olympic cycle away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's young and he'll be great. He's a beautiful man. Well done, Gap. The country's very proud of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Well, congratulations to Gout Gout on a strong season. Can't wait for Quincy Wilson to wash him in a 400 in the future.
Can I give
Well, he doesn't run 400. He went to the Olympics for the 400.
We had such a good talk, and now
And then
it was
Chris,
like,
I had to revert back to like my
American-
Americanism.
yeah.
I'm like, all right,
It's like,
that was
that's
nice.
a really beautiful moment.
Quincy
getting
Wilson
around
is
guys.
better.
Chris is like, yeah, that's great.
Quincy
I like that
Wilson's
guy.
better.
excited for Grant Fisher to wash him in a 5K. He's like, what?
Yeah.
The fuck you
Speaking
talking?
of the 5K,
Fuck you talking about?
Well,
We-
can I give a
Oh,
quick
yeah.
and I'll hop off
Please
because I
do.
transition to the distance. I just want to give a quick shout out to the men's 400.
Yeah, the Botswanian.
oh my God, that's right.
Yeah,
good.
they had the final. The Busang Kalin Kabirachipi 43.53. He held on
You said
considering
that
he ran
beautifully.
43.
That was
One more
that was
time.
amazing. Can
Oh,
you say his name again?
Busang
Kalinchipi.
Kabirachipi. Yeah, from Botswana. I've been learning some of these Botswanan names, once Let's See Lay kind of like picked up. So I don't know. But he's been he got the gold medal, 43.53, one of the fastest all time in history. He ran extremely fast in the semifinals. I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical on how
You
would-
talked to him about it, right?
Yeah, and he said his body felt good, but he was kind of surprised at the time. He wasn't sure like how, he's hoping he'd do well in the final, but he said his goal was to win Botswana's first ever gold or medal in the 400 on the men's side. And this was not only gold, they also got bronze with Bapu Ndori, who ran 44.20. He got on the podium. He's been here for like a couple years. Olympic Games in 2021 in Tokyo was his first time on the big stage. And then also shout out to Jareem Richards from Trinidad and Tobago, 43.72 from lane 2, the fastest time ever out of that lane. He was a 200-meter runner, bronze medalist from 2017 in the 200. And now this is his next medal, which is a 400.
Because he was fourth last year.
He was fourth last year
Yeah.
in that legendary 400 race with Quincy Hall, and now he gets a medal and he qualified on time, which is why he was in lane 2. So
Wow.
this was a legendary final. Unfortunately, Ja'Cory Patterson, on the US side, wasn't able to get on the podium, 44.70.
Yeah, so I guess like with Ja'Cory, what do you think happened?
I think
Left it all in the first round?
probably maybe left it all, maybe I don't know, maybe just like this is his first time at a world championships outdoors, maybe just like managing the rounds, and especially after the semifinals, he qualified on time, but he didn't actually run slow. Like he ran 44.1, which is still insanely fast. It's just everyone ran faster. And I think maybe, the rounds, maybe just like the shock of like, oh crap, he was in lane 3. I don't know. Like someone like Jareem is just way more experienced. And so running from lane 2 was probably like, I don't even care. But maybe Ja'Cory just like that level of experience, but I think he'll be back.
So I guess one final question for you, Anderson, is with Botswana putting through 3 guys into the final, 2 on the podium.
They're the 4x4 gold medal favorites.
Yeah.
Like they are the gold medal favorites.
What can we
Is it a
do?
world
What
record
can we
watch?
do?
Like actually, that's actually crazy. I'm not even gonna lie.
World record watch, right?
Yeah, because
Surely.
last year when they won silver, they were the 3rd fastest ever, and us and Botswana were close to the world record. Who knows? But I think the U.S. is still going to be in it, right? Like, it's just that
I think he gets.
Think
It's
about
tough.
let's think about this.
Yo, relax.
We have America has the edge in the sense of we only got one guy in the finals.
Yeah,
so
missile power.
So the other two
Or
might,
resting.
or might be rested, right?
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
Rye.
Rye is gonna be there.
As
He's
an
gonna be
option.
good.
Nuclear weapons.
Rye's not only an option, he's like the top guy right now.
We need Rye.
Easily,
Yeah.
big ass cock,
Um,
fast as fuck.
all
What
right.
else do you
But
want?
yeah, like Rye is the guy, and then you have guys like a Vernon Norwood. Yes, he didn't qualify through the rounds, but we know what he
Old
can do,
reliable.
right? Bryce Deadman, he's also consistent on the relays, and he was
Was
part
in
of
the
the
first
gold
round,
medal
yeah.
from the mixed relay. So Chris Bailey, I spoke to him afterwards, even though he didn't qualify through the final, he feels good. So we have guys. I just think Botswana is in the driver's seat. They are the favorites right now.
Yeah, and then Tobogo is just trolling and stalking, and he'll be there.
He'll be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? But that's the shout out to the 400s. Yeah.
Anderson, excellent work.
Appreciate
Yeah, that was
You were
That was a
fine.
lot of fun.
That was great.
No, yeah, this is great. This is good. You guys set me up. I don't know what.
Great talk.
Yeah,
No, I love
you
it.
rocked that. No,
All right.
it's getting
I know
scary
lightning's
outside.
crazy, but all right.
Thanks,
All right.
Anderson.
Thanks,
Good night, Anderson.
All right.
99.
We've
What
got
if we did Paul? Are we doing Paul tonight?
no Paul tonight.
Okay, I was like,
Oh,
what if we
actually-
did Paul now
I mean-
if he's gonna come on.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We got two more
I'm
more
like,
races to go through.
This is Max. Like, okay, well, Eric's here and he's getting warmed up. He's not gonna stop talking. I'm like, 1
Women's,
a.m. Yeah,
women's 5K.
Yes.
Not too many shockers here in the first heat. Beatrice Chabet, Nadia Barcletti, Shelby Houlihan were your top three. They put through the top 8 into the final, but they ran quick, 14:45, like fast time for
Yeah.
the conditions, all that kind of stuff that we've been talking about in the lead up. This one was a quick one, and it took its toll on Elise Cranny. She finishes 10th, doesn't advance. Berka Hylam,
No more small queues. We're back
no,
to the
yeah, that's
queueless
right. No more
races.
small
Yeah.
queues. So,
8 and 8.
yeah, it was the top 8. The last one in was Joy Cheptoak. I'm looking at this. Hannah Nuttall, like from Great Britain. Good to see her in it. Nozomi Tanaka for the home
Tanaka.
crowd. So Heat 1 fast, but Beatrice Chabet in the driver's seat.
it's going to be this final is going to be fantastic,
Yeah.
right? Beatrice Chabet, Gudolf Sagai, Faith Kipyegon.
They made it through, yeah.
I mean, yes, it's like everybody who you thought should make it through made it through. Yes, you have athletes like Elise Cranny, right? And it's like there are athletes that you think maybe could have made it in, but they didn't. The first heat was very fast. Conditions are very rough. So, and when it's a 14:45 race led by Beatrice Chabet, I mean, just anything can happen.
Yeah.
But this is like one of the exciting events. They're all exciting, but this is because Faith Kipyegon, you're goats in here, right? Beatrice Chabet, Faith Kipyegon, Gudolf Sagai, and either of those 3 athletes can win.
Mm.
It's going to be incredibly exciting.
It's an all-time race that's waiting to happen.
Exactly. It's
the
an all-time
best-
race.
It's the best women's race that we have in store at these best women's distance race that we have in store for us at these championships. Like
Agree.
1500,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
1500 went according to
For sure.
plan. 800 Keely
It
is
was a good
probably
juncture point.
favored.
100%.
I think coming up from the 15 and down from the 10.
And it-
Like Beatrice versus, and yes, Gudolf could win it, but the main thing, or the 2 favorites you would say is Beatrice versus Faith Kipyegon,
Yeah.
and that is a genuine heavyweight showdown, and you really don't know. You could make the argument on
Either one of those, so yeah.
either day who could be the
Okay, so
favorite.
Eric, I guess I'll pose this question to you. It's like we saw the squeeze from Faith in the 1500. I forget if we double checked the splits. Was it 158 for the final 800?
It was it was something around that. Yeah.
So when you know you have that speed, you have the strength from like the 3K where you scared the world record. If you're Faith Kipyegon, what's the race execution you look for to try and beat Beatrice Chabet? Because it at this point feels like she's just got the best kick in the world for a distance race, no matter what. If it's quick or if it's not.
I mean, it's hard to argue with when you watch that women's 1500 and you see the close by Faith Kipyegon. You see her absolutely kind of run the legs off of athletes like Jess Hall. It's hard to say that shouldn't be the tactics, right?
Yeah.
But but we don't know. And you could also see her winning it in lots of ways. Could it be Faith could just say, look, I'm going to let Beatrice decide how the race goes. I'm going to let Beatrice be the one who tries to squeeze, because I am the 1500 meter record holder.
So
And there's no chance that you're going to outkick me. Yes, you're
you have 354 speed.
You have 354 speed and you're a sub 14 athlete, but I'm Faith Kipyegon and I don't believe that you're going to be able to outkick me. So go for it. And so in that sense, you could see it going like that, but you could also see it because there's an athlete called Guy in there
Who's gonna take it out fast.
who does not let races just go to the last 400 very slow. There's something about Gout that's like, I have got to get in front and hammer it from a bit out. And so I think that bodes very well for both these athletes. String it out a bit, because not everybody who is in that final deserves to be running with the likes of those top three. They all deserve to be there.
Agnes needs it to be fast,
Most of them,
according to the YouTube chat. Yeah.
what I mean by that, they all deserve to be there, right? But I'm saying that you can, if you let it be a true sit and kick 5K, you let athletes that couldn't run with you with a fast race, you let them hang around and believe that they deserve to get a medal in these slow races.
Yeah.
So I think athletes, or I think somebody like Gout is going to take it, stretch it out a bit, and stretch it out, not enough to drop Faith, not enough to drop Beatrice or anything like that, but just enough to drop the athletes that don't really have a shot at a medal. So I think that would be the best case scenario for athletes like Faith or Beatrice. But even if Gout wasn't in there, they would do that themselves. It's not like Faith,
Agnes would do it. Yeah.
yes, but I'm like, look at the women's 1500. It's not like Faith Kipyegon's like, man, it would be awesome if somebody kind of stretched it out a bit so I could, sit on them and kick it.
Yeah.
They're willing to do that themselves, but it does help when someone's like Gout's in there and is like, don't worry about it, I got it. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
So it is shaping out to be such a fun race, and there's no way that I could sit here and say, here's how it's going to go, because I'd just be guessing, and that's how it goes. It's like I'd say something and then truly the exact opposite happened. And that's just how that's why it's so fun.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, coach, because in the 10K, your athlete Gout did medal. You got a bunch of messages.
Thank you. Yes.
As a result of that,
I got a huge bonus. It was sick.
What would your instructions to Gout be for her to try to win the race?
Great question. I should have thought about this as her coach before and right now. I think it would be to sit for a while, right? Like you should not be this is a 5K race. You don't want to be in front at a K, at 2K. I would imagine that somebody like Gout should be in the front, but not like exerting themselves to the point where you're running the legs off. Be in front and stretch it out just enough where it's the three of you of the main athletes, the heavy favorites. I mean, this arguably some of the greatest distance runners of all time are in this race. And I mean, not arguably,
the greatest. Yeah, it's like four of the top six
I'm
fastest
like,
of all time. Yeah.
Who would be arguing? Some would argue against that. I'm like, who would argue against that? But I think I think Gout has her hands very full, and she shouldn't show her cards all at once. That's kind of like the move she has tended to do in a lot of races, where she just kind of pushes it, tries to break athletes, can't quite break them, and then ends up breaking herself in the process. So can't do that. And she should just try and save herself so that she has some sort of kick or feels like she's going to the last lap having a little bit of momentum.
All right, we have that to look forward to. That is the women's 5K. Final thing, men's 800
And women's.
and the women's
Yeah, let's
800. We'll cruise through this, and the women's one, not too many surprises from this one. Heat 1, Keeley makes it through 159. Heat 2, Mary Mora makes it through. She finished second to Anais Bourgoin from France. Heat 3, Siga Deguma, Maggie Congdon. I'm very impressed by Maggie Congdon at this stage. Just like
Yeah, she
not
looked
being
great.
phased whatsoever. Heat 4, Sage Herta-Klecker finishes
great.
right behind Audrey
Looked great.
Guerrero. Covered all the moves. Read that race great. Very encouraged by that. 5, Lillian Odira makes it through. Actually, this one's interesting. Halima Nakai, the former world champion, knocked out. Gemma Ricci knocked out. Actually, wait, I'll look at the summary to see if they made it through on time. But
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I
No,
think
they
she
didn't?
did.
Okay.
No.
Georgia Hunter Bell takes the final heat.
Looked great.
Interesting comment from Georgia Hunter Bell was that if they asked her about Dariba Walteji's provisional suspension, and she said if she would have known about that a couple weeks ago, then she would have attempted the double. So clear sign that she trusts in her fitness going into these championships. Over in the men's 800, we had the semifinals. Again, these semifinals were totally redrawn. By the last time that we spoke about this, it was the fact that we had 3 Olympic medalists in one of them, and so then they moved Wanyoni into the second one, and it ended up just being Marco Rope takes the win, Jamel Shajati second, Mark English right behind him. It's the top 2 in each heat, next 2 fastest times who qualified. Cian McPhillips from Ireland, and it took the second one, Max Bergen right behind him. And in the third one, Mohamed Atatui, Emmanuel Wanyoni leading Avansky Anderson and Shapiso Masalela into the final because of how quick that final heat was, 143.18 for the win. But Bryce Hoppel, who finished 5th in that one, 143.92, doesn't advance. That's the 4th place finisher from the Paris Olympics, not making it into the final. Then we also had the U.S. champion, Donovan Brazier, not advancing. He was on the bubble going into that final heat, 143.82. No Americans will be in the 800-meter final. I honestly don't know when the last time we had that happen was, but
Be a long time.
Brutal.
little disappointing for sure.
Super.
Yeah, especially with given how fast the U.S. championship was in this event. We came into this thing talking about how this is the greatest U.S. team of all time, and none of them end up making the final.
Were we saying it was the greatest 800 team of all time? I mean, it was definitely like some of the fastest time.
Yeah, so I mean, like in that sense,
Yeah.
You have Donovan, who's a world champion and has the time, and Bryce, who's 4th
Yeah.
at the
For sure.
Olympics.
Yeah.
And then I guess like
You got
Cooper
the
gets the
kid, too.
shine of
Yeah.
having run, the 11th, 14th fastest time in history. So yeah, I mean like on the fastest of all time for sure, greatest of
Yeah.
all time, and like yeah, I guess yes, I think you can make the case for it. You can have more experienced teams in the past, but
Well, Donnie's a world
But
champ.
Don, yeah,
as well,
Don- yeah, I,
back in his
I
day.
think Don and Bryce's experience makes up for Cooper's lack of experience. So I do think this was our greatest team of all time, and it is unfortunate that none of them make it through. So it kind of I'm looking at the final field, and it's a little bit of a rerun from Paris minus a couple heavy hitters, and then also minus the intrigue that we would have loved to have had with Donovan Brazier in the mix.
You know what gets me G'd up? Guys that run the semis like it's their final.
Yeah.
And that's what the Irishman did. He set a national record there in that heat to get through. So stuff like that gets me excited. But I suppose to play devil's advocate, it is obviously, well, I imagine naturally frustrating as Americans, but probably speaks to the depth that we've seen in 800-meter running all through the year. And these times have been blistering and it's been well documented. But to not see some big hitters in there is, I'm not even going to, it's surprising on paper, but given the way that these championships have been going, I can't act fully surprised on day 6 that favorites aren't getting through. I was very happy to see who I've personally loved through the Diamond League season, and now he's made the final, is Max Bergen. I'm a huge fan of his, but I don't know whether anybody necessarily stood out so much where you were like, that's good. Yep, the rest of this field's playing for, second and third and fourth and fifth. So I don't know if Wanyonyon, should be the guy that wins, but he didn't do anything so special where I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to win.
Did Marco look better to you, Eric?
Why is he doing that?
Yeah, it's like, it was crazy how simply my statement was that Marco didn't look as good as.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Marco, as of recently, didn't look as good as he did when he won the fucking world championship in 2019. And Chris is like,
23.
Who gives a fuck, right? Here you are, and now you're patting me on the back and think, Eric, I should beat your fucking ass, Chris. It was genuinely just a classic, and everyone's in the comments like, yes, he didn't look as good. Today, he looked great. He made it through, Chris. Congrats. I'm like, I like Marco, and it's crazy that now I'm here in a fucking shark's head having to defend myself and say that he didn't look as good as he has in years past. But yes, I hope he wins.
I hope so too.
I hope he's got his hands full with Wanyoni, but he looked a lot better today than he has in the last
month?
Way more. Thank you, Mitch. 3 months, what?
Yeah, no, I think that's
ever
fair.
since Grand Slam ended, he hasn't looked as good.
He wasn't exactly lighting it up in terms of.
Go on. Okay, go on.
I thought.
Oh, it's out.
Go on.
I think he's been.
London Diamond League was not that bad.
No, I'm not saying he's being bad.
Oh my
I
God.
think the point that Eric's trying
What
to
is
make
going on? You're the smartest.
is that he
You're
hasn't been
autistically good at track and field, and here you are. I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? What is fucking wrong with you? You're so smart, genuinely brilliant. Your recall is insane, and here you are, where I'm fighting you tooth and nail
On Marco.
on Marco A rope. You're treating me like you're patting me on the back. You should have seen it. For a few before it cut to me, he's rubbing my back, and I'm like, what's going on? And then he starts talking to me like a toddler. I'm like, I should son you right here on camera. God.
All right.
Fired up right now.
All right. We've got the.
Yeah, boy, it's getting dangerous in here. I'm like, it's getting hot. I might go lock the hotel room door, see how it ends up. I might not let any of you leave. I might let Mitch leave. See how it goes. I might kill all of you right here. I might let the stream go.
All right.
Oh yeah. There we go. Chum the waters back. There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I just got jaws. Yeah.
All
right.
I've just got no idea what he's doing in this group.
Yeah. All right. We've got the 800-meter final ahead. Marco's in it. Wanyoni's in it. Sajati's in it. It could just be a run back of the Olympic podium from last year. I look at Atatui as the potential sneaky pick in this one. Navaski Anderson with the race of his life in this one.
Bergen.
Get on Max. Get on the Max train. I'm telling you. He had some really good, towards the back end of the Diamond Leagues. I actually I cannot remember which race exactly it was. I want to say Brussels, but I could be wrong. But there was somewhere I was watching him and I was like, this guy can motor. He has a really good close. And also tactically, he runs things pretty intelligently. So I just feel like in these and I'm probably leaning into the championships and what's been happening thus far. But
I mean, it's a good way to approach it.
Yeah,
If you go round
the
and round,
favorites in men's races have actually come out and ended up winning. So, because you could honestly
is that
go
the
all the way
approach?
through to the sprints. Like Bleak wasn't necessarily the favorite.
Well, it's the approach of just like, do you take someone from the back half of the field to just potentially upset everyone, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I feel like Max is that perfect middle. Whoa,
Well,
no,
if you think
I would
Wanyoni's just
not
going to
take
do what he
that.
does
Yeah,
and just
well,
go
I was
right
gonna
to the
say no.
front and push it, make it very. Wanyoni doesn't just like sit.
The
He's
craziest
always in
part,
the front.
The craziest part to this race is that, like, given how wild this championships are, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it. It's like Shapiso Masalela.
No, I
Do I
take
take
the field.
Wanyoni over the field?
Really?
I take
I
the
like
field.
that.
I take.
Probably take Wanyoni, I guess.
I'm taking the field.
I will take the field as well.
It's just so unpredictable. It's so
Yeah.
it is so highly unpredictable.
It
What-
is
what-
super
what's-
unpredictable,
what's
but it's just like Wanyoni just hasn't lost, and like
So, what would be the equivalent of like the feeling, the feeling that came over us watching the 1500, where Nader ends up taking the win? Who would that be in this one?
Probably a Tui.
That's what I think too. Add a Tui.
Yeah, or Max. Honestly, I feel like they're not too far away.
I mean,
Eric?
Sajadi has looked like
He's starting to get back.
I'm like the field is good.
Yeah.
He is starting to like the Sajadi is starting to like round into the Sajadi that had a violent kick every single race and would come from behind to win. He's starting to look like that. But is it enough? Like, would you say it's enough to beat Wanyoni, who has just kind of gone out there, dominated every single race? When was the last time Wanyoni lost?
He got cooked in Lausanne.
Wanyoni was
Holy yes.
Hoey
Hoey,
and then
yeah.
Kingston.
Yeah, he got cooked in Lausanne.
But Kingston was way
Yeah,
too early in the season. That doesn't count.
What did I'm trying to remember that race? Like, what
Which
was
one?
Hoey?
where he got done by Hoey?
But it was in the rain, and
Yeah,
Hoey,
Lausanne. Yeah.
Hoey shocked him, I think, in the final one pick.
142
He
low.
came humming. I remember he just absolutely moved away from him. And admittedly, it was like monsoonal weather there. Like the second. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like it was probably just he had that he got that gap, and then it was like, oh my god, he's away with it. So and maybe it favors the kickers. Maybe that's what the learning is, that it's
I like
it's
that. I like
doable.
that bet though. Wanyoni versus the field. Yeah.
What are you taking?
I mean, I'm gonna take
like
Wanyoni,
Wanyoni.
but it's kind of fun to. You guys took the field.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this right now, I could see a scenario for everyone, but
When was the last time there's no Americans in it?
It'd be a long time.
no, that's what I was thinking. It was I think 2000 and
I'm gonna have to consult
7?
Dr. Chip.
Long ass time. I mean, that's
pre Simmons,
yeah.
pre.
Well, I mean, pre Simmons because every time like,
Simmons
as soon
was
as
on it.
Simmons came on it,
Yeah,
he was in
on
every
it.
single final. Yeah,
It sucks.
it does. It really sucks. This was like kind of it definitely felt like a bit of an uncharacteristic race from Donovan. It felt like you're always waiting for Don to make the move because he always does. He always just kind of is there at the right place at the right time and then kicks. And today he just didn't have that the classic Donovan Brazier last minute move that always seals him the victory. And that's we talked about it a lot. It's like with guys like Cooper, it's like you've had a fantastic year. Like Worlds is kind of the cherry on top of a very successful season. But I'm just thinking about with Don, he came back, he was injured, and most people thought he retired.
Everyone did.
Everyone did. So it's even though it's like, yeah, it's great that he came back and it's amazing. Like USA's was an unbelievable race. You're still just here today kind of thinking like, you're just so used to him winning and delivering at the last minute. But we're seeing it a lot this championships. Like a lot of athletes that last, 50, 30, like the pop a lot of times it's tough to come by, especially in events like the 800 or the 15 where there's multiple rounds of it. And I think it's like, I don't know what's going on in terms of like, it's like guys can have off days and things like that, but you're just not used to it with dudes like Don.
Could I throw out like a hypothetical proposal? I guess when we were just talking moments ago with Anderson about like the 4x4 and how the U.S. might be screwed. Don?
Ooh, 4x4. Wow, that'd be fun.
He was
I
world
mean,
indoor.
I don't hate that at all.
That'd be cool.
He did
He
he's
did 4x4?
done it. Yeah, I mean
Indoors.
at A&M, he did it. Yes, he did it indoors for USA's. He did the mix for at I think at the Bahamas.
One last race.
Was that the first time
He's
that was
available?
unveiled?
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
I
Especially like he's got like, he's like he would have a chip on his shoulder.
yes.
He's got the strength for it. Like I'm sure a lot of these 400 guys are tired.
Hit him in the hates.
like the handoff from I guess I wouldn't know what the best order would
Yeah,
be.
it's like who do you take off to
So say you got
put Don in there?
Chris Bailey to this is an Anderson question. He would know best where to fit him in, but it's like Chris Bailey to Vernon Norwood to Donovan to
Right?
Rye. Does that get us gold?
It's fun to play around with. It's just like the way that the Bahamas and the 400
Oh, Botswana, yeah.
or Botswana, sorry. I mean, they're just so good. But I want to say as much Donovan as possible. So it's like one of these.
That's why, yeah. It's like I started imagining him with the gold medal around his neck, and that's like I didn't think that it would be with a from a relay potentially. But Mitch, you had something.
No, it has nothing to really.
It's just
add to
Gout
this
Gout.
other- No, it's actually not. I was just saying. I had to consult the internet. I wanted to know when the last time was an American man didn't make the World Champs final. You're very far away.
1982.
No, you're going the wrong way. It's actually far more recently than
2022. Because Jonah Koch made it through, but then he got
That's it.
disqualified.
Yeah,
1982.
2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20 years ago.
I got thrown off by the fact that
Eugene,
Eugene on our home soil.
home soil, didn't have a man in the fight. So there you go.
Because the team at that point was
Mitch is like, you guys think you're the fucking shit, huh? I'm like, when was the last time? He's like, 3 years ago. Literally. I'm like, really?
No, because I was surprised.
Really?
I asked chat and it came back with 2022 and I replied and I said, that's wrong. Look again. And then it just gave me like really good breakdown of no, I'm right. Like I'm AI. I know a lot more than you. So 2022. I would have thought it would be way further back than that.
wow.
Had to know.
I thought we were spoiled with 800-meter riches for longer. All right, so I think that does it for everything we had today. Tomorrow's finals are we have it's an evening session only. Finals are okay, this is throwing me off.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, sorry that I like kind of freaked out on you and like yelled at you.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We always hit our
We really do.
We get our hiccups around 5 or 6 days in.
Oh my
Build the
God,
room.
I'd like to publicly apologize to you for getting so angry. But I'm just so tired. I can't breathe in this friggin' shark's.
I'm surprised you kept
head.
it on for as long
It's
as
so
you did.
hot. It's like soaking sweat. Can't breathe. Cannot breathe.
Anyway, all right.
Anyway,
400.
we-
Four-
we-
four-
we-
four- wait, wait,
Funniest
wait,
one,
it's
easy.
the dick measuring contest ends tomorrow.
I'm like, oh great, now I
Today?
have to do a dick measuring contest.
Today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow
Yeah.
or today. Today is tomorrow. Yeah.
That'll get you.
All right. That does it for day 5 of the World Championships here in
6.
Tokyo. 6?
Yeah.
Day 6 of the World Championships here in Tokyo. We're losing it. I'm getting thrown off by the time zones. The fact that this show crossed over from one day to the next.
It's a trippy one.
Group run in a few hours.
Group run in
Stay
7
up.
hours.
You're gonna go there, right? You're gonna be there. Mitch.
You missed the last one.
Yeah,
you have to be
extra.
on this
Yeah,
one.
you missed.
Mm.
I can tell he's trying to miss out on this next one.
We've got tons of interviews and stuff
Shouldn't
all
let me get
on
away with
CITIUS
that.
Mag's channels. Be sure to follow along on everything, daily newsletters, daily podcasts, all the good stuff. Many thanks to ASICS for supporting us, because without their support, we wouldn't be able to afford all of these sick hats that we have from Don Quixote earlier today.
Thanks, Asik.
The shock is just
Yo, thanks for this, Asik.
so funny.
Yeah, that's really
my
sick.
God.
The bit carried on for 2 hours of this episode. but-
I want to be in a different hat for tomorrow.
You guys want to touch that after you just breathed all over it for the last 2.5 hours?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I breathed on it, Mitch. Gee.
You've been bitching
Let's
about it for the last 2
let's end
hours.
this.
Good night, everybody.
It's getting
We'll see you tomorrow.